Hello, Trash Future listeners. We have all had scheduling conflicts, and as a result, we're unlocking a bonus episode for this week's free one. But it's a very fun episode featuring Lauren Walker from Batting Around, and we hope you enjoy it. Also, a few plugs up front. First, you may have heard that No Gods, No Mayors will be performing live at Big Belly Comedy in London on 25th and 26th April. There's a link in this episode's description where you can get tickets, and they're going fast, so definitely check that out if you're interested. In addition, MILO is currently on tour in Australia, and you can get tickets to all of his shows down there via the link that's also in the description. And finally, I've got some plugs. First, Lions Led by Donkeys will be performing on 29th May at Rich Mix in London. There's a link in the show notes, again, where you can get tickets. And in addition to this, my band, Second Homes, just started pre-sales on our debut album on Bandcamp. It was produced by friend of the show and Bottleman alumnus Dan Beckner, and there's a link in the description where you can check it out. We'll be back on the bonus feed with a new episode in just a few days, and there'll be a new free episode next Tuesday. Thanks for being a listener, thanks for your patience, and have a good one.
Look, none of you understand that there's a new orb, okay?
Okay, that's true. That is true. When I do my kind of rigorous like spiritual examine at the end of each day, I think to myself about my weaknesses, and one of them is I don't understand there's a new orb.
Yeah, like none of you have actually really metabolized that there's a hot new orb on the scene.
Just when I grasp the ones that exist, another one just shows up.
This is how it always is. You know, you get in and you think my orb's going to be the orb for all time, and it never is, you know, because there's always a newer orb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, you know what? It's planned obsolescence, and I think it's actually, thank you very much. I'm going to tell, look, a hot new orb has dropped on the scene. Discord, I don't know if you know this, Discord orbs are a new type of reward earned through performing quests.
How many can I use on a single ape?
Well, I don't know if you can use them on an ape yet. What I do know is that they allow you to change your profile picture on Discord, one. Two, that you get them by watching ads. Quests are watching ads, by the way. A quest?
Okay.
Yeah, a medieval knight.
So JD Vance, who is still in a Discord server with a bunch of like 15-year-old neo-Nazis, is going to be raking in the orbs then.
Oh, he is rich and he's orb rich, is JD Vance. So unlike many of the other orbs we've talked about, there's not a physical orb. This is not the FIFA Club Cup.
Fucking time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if the digital future passed you by, right? That it's all computer. Everything's computer. The orbs are computer now.
Yeah.
And Discord said, the chief marketing officer of Discord said, we're dedicated to making Quest the most authentic, engagement-centric advertising product in all of gaming, and we're taking a huge step on this today.
I've never thought, what if Discord could be more exploitative? But I guess when you work at Discord, that's where you have to be.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Why this has happened is that Discord is trying to IPO and they're desperate to increase their revenue. So they invented orbs and quests.
Yeah, I'm the ad guy who went to Discord and I just unveiled on my whiteboard. I just wrote on the whiteboard, orb. Yeah. Everyone stood up and they applauded.
Yeah, that's right. No, we are here with a TF bonus episode today. We have a guest who's, I think, been quite a long time coming. Very excited to have her on. It is Batting Around's Lauren Walker, and we're going to talk baseball, football, other sports, possibly high-a-lie. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Howdy, y'all. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, welcome, Lauren. I completely missed the intro on account of I was getting a package.
Yeah. It was your orbs I sent you.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Thank you for the orbs. Obviously, really appreciate them because they are physical.
Can I just go back for a second? Are they called disc orbs?
We need to call Discord right away.
That would be a better name. Yeah, what you've done there is kind of unwaged labor for Discord in branding.
What if you just called them discs?
Yeah. Whoa,
we're
that's
cooking
crazy,
here. This is okay. This is like season 1 Mad Men shit. We're firing on all cylinders.
I mean, there are actually I've like planted another season 1 Mad Men reference later in the show.
Oh, okay, good. It's nice to know that that's out there because previously, if you were looking for those in the show, you were delusional. Whereas now,
the special kind of schizophrenic where you think we're not talking to you through a mass medium, but like we're talking to Don Draper.
Being Mad Men stalked? Yeah.
I'm being Mad Men stalked. People keep smoking near me and all the ties have got very skinny. One guy came up to me and said he didn't think about me at all, which I thought was weird. But no, we got Lauren on, and we're going to be talking sports. So I'm going to answer number one, once and for all, my question, which is, what the fuck is banana ball, and why does it seem so popular in what you could refer to as America B?
That's a fascinating question. It's also one that like the baseball community has had the people who get paid to talk about baseball has had a really hard time figuring out. Yeah. The people of baseball preference. Yes. Banana ball, if you don't know somehow, is the biggest baseball-like entity on TikTok. A lot of baseball purists hate it because its stated goal is to make baseball fun, and its audience is primarily young women. And those are things that baseball just historically always hated. That's one way to think about banana ball. The other way to think about it is a product that people go to that's more of like an entertainment lifestyle brand at this point than it is like an actual sports product. The history of it goes back to like 2022 when they were sort of like a real baseball team. They were like associated with like a college summer league. They played actual baseball, but like they were goofy with it. Like they'd grill on the sidelines. And over time, specifically in the pandemic, they really blew up in a huge way by doing silly dances on TikTok, which, as far as my understanding, is in Alabama, is the entire platform still.
Because silly dances have never happened in baseball.
The inevitable showdown between the baseball crank and the banana ball crank.
Yeah, that's right. I like to imagine like in Deadwood, they're getting the baseball scores from like the 1893 World Series or whatever, like 4 weeks later by telegram. I need to know, did the pitcher on stilts successfully complete a backflip, Al?
Of course, we never mentioned the nested layers of Deadwood references, which we have been putting in over previous episodes.
That's right. It's every time someone speaks with a British accent, it's a reference to Al Swearingen. Actually,
all our brains are fully calcified in the years of the golden age of television from like 2008 to like 2017.
Yeah,
there's no coming back from it.
Yeah. It's like Timothy Oliphant just gets to do what he wants.
Yeah. I'm unconventional by our standards because I'm primarily into Boardwalk Empire, but
a real Nucky Thompson head. You don't see too many of them.
No.
Banana ball seems fun because it's like they've taken baseball and we're like, what if it was also a TikTok hype house, but also baseball? And it's like, this is the single most popular sport in America overnight, it seems.
Yes.
Which is crazy.
Literally, like they had more followers on TikTok than any MLB team. And they are selling out like football stadiums, 70,000 seat football stadium. That's like kind of the new take on it. People are now burned out on it because like actually going to these games, it's impossible to get tickets. They're super expensive when you can get one. And then like you're just watching people film TikToks on the field. Like it's not like a Harlem Globetrotters thing where like it's like an entertaining version of the sport you can watch. Like it, and they've got
hey, babe,
custom
you want to go to the
now.
filming of a TikTok?
Right, exactly. This is like the Gen Alpha version of like coordinated like stunt dances.
What if phones spell way too much?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what if everything's computer extended to baseball? We thought it was going to be something to do with sabermetrics, but actually it was, what if baseball was about like 9 different groups of people doing unconnected TikTok dances around a diamond while sort of mostly forgetting to play baseball.
Yeah, I was going to say, so at no point like does baseball really get played in this, despite it being kind of centered around baseball.
There's like baseball-like things happening on the field. Someone will be standing at the diamond swinging a bat, and occasionally there will be like contact and the ball will travel to the outfield. But there's less and less of that because that is baseball and that is boring. And they want to get rid of the boring stuff and just do the fun TikTok dances. Like the most successful thing they're doing right now is actually the banana ball cruise.
Oh, you know it's washed when there's a tenuous connection for a cruise event.
I love the banana ball cruise. They're just like, and it's out again. Yeah, it's another bunt. If you don't bunt, it just goes out.
You cannot fit a regulation banana ball field onto a cruise ship. It just can't be done.
No, so it's just like the hype dancing like over and over again.
Amazing.
It's the infection of TikTok into like everything that it touches. It's like a kind of dancing plague, really.
So right? When are we pivoting to video?
Yeah, hey, maybe actually pretty soon, but I don't think we'll be dancing. Watch some space, but this is just something that because I see it, and so often people be, is this Christian? Is this Mormon? What is this? And it's like, no, it's just TikTok. It's just the dancing plague that's infecting everything it touches by replacing everything with TikTok dances.
I would say though that probably is somewhat Christian and somewhat Mormon, just given like the excess of guys who are like almost professional baseball players that they rely on. It's very Mormon coded from time to time. They're like sexy in a safe Mormon way, I think is part of the appeal to a lot of the audience.
Yeah. Do you think it's like some minor leaguer, like Tampa Bay, like level baseball player made like a cursed monkey's paw wish that he wanted to play, he wanted to sell out stadiums?
Yeah. I want to, yeah, and you kind of go, well, I want to play baseball in a God-honoring way, which, of course, the fallen and heathen sport of baseball does not allow you to do in Major League.
I think this is so much closer to the truth that you guys, like, we're doing a bit here, but this is also is pretty literally what happened and how it was built. Like, this is basically a supercharged form of, like, what the minor league baseball system already does. Like, you're just trying to get people to come out and pay $8 for a ticket, and you've got to find somebody to entertain them. In normal baseball, it's like, okay, we're going to do like a president's race, put a big mascot head on someone, run around the field in between innings. This is just like, we could make a lot of money doing that, like cranked up to 15.
God, it's just, it's so strange just to like see a cultural phenomenon emerge from whole cloth, but have it be copy paste of so many other cultural phenomena in the great sort of machine that turns everything into TikTok dances.
And what's weird to me is we don't really know how big it can get before it like implodes on itself. Like it's already at the point where they're selling out their world tours like before any of them even get announced. Now it's like they're partying with ESPN to broadcast games. They're like, and ESPN is getting out of the baseball game. ESPN is not going to cover Major League Baseball after I think next year. Like they got rid of the deal, but they will be broadcasting Banana Ball.
Only?
ESPN's going to be a Banana Ball only league. It's going to be football, Banana Ball, and like 10 minutes of hockey.
Oh my God. That's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like the TikTok algorithm killed baseball. Yeah. And also, why would you watch it on ESPN? You watch it on TikTok.
ESPN has to become more TikTok-like because TikTok is the thing that survives.
Yeah. God damn.
It's also weird in the context of like baseball is actually growing as well. Like the rumors that baseball is dying are kind of inaccurate at this point. Like the sport has seen growth. It's just not seeing the venture capital 300% year over year growth that Banana Ball has. So that's where the eyeballs go, and that's where all the money's going now.
I'm looking forward to like the Pee Wee Banana Ball League. And if I was American, I'd put my son in the Pee Wee Banana Ball League, and I'd yell at him. I'd yell at him for not doing the dances properly.
Yeah, but it's even funnier to do that if it's a bubble, though. To be like, your kid grows up and is like hits 18 and is like, I did like 15 years of highlight lessons because my dad was convinced it was going to be the next big thing.
Yeah. I became the rival to Fast Eddie at yo-yoing.
Yeah.
And now I just have to go get a job as an accountant? What the fuck?
There's a lot of like extreme sports that are like that. I remember like meeting a guy who was like, he was doing some extreme sport, which was sort of like an evolution of roller skating. And I can't remember what it was called, but it was like briefly popular in like the mid 2000s.
Was it soaping?
I can't, it might, yeah, yes, it could have been, but it might have been something else. There were lots of these like random sports that were sort of showing up. And for like 3 years, he like went all in trying to sort of be a professional and trying to get like Quicksilver to sponsor him. And then it was just like, yeah, like the sport doesn't exist. You're basically the only one doing it now. And I'm not sure what he does, but like, yeah, this feels like it's very much similar trajectory.
I think that we'll know that Banana Ball has reached escape velocity when the Saudis start like astroturfing a league in Saudi Arabia.
A Banana Ball rival. Yeah, it's going to happen. And I think like to that point, a very weird angle of this is like the owner of Banana Ball who runs the whole thing. One of his like weird bits that is also like a real thing in the organization is he lets everyone pay what they think they're worth. Like that's the actual salary. Like they set their own salaries, which leads me to believe they're all incredibly underpaid for how lucrative this is. Yeah. That's just one of the many
I'm not even a good baseball player. I'm just doing TikTok dances. Yeah. You shouldn't pay me more than $50K or whatever.
It's vintage Mormon stuff.
Like when they started, they were sending guys to the actual professional baseball. Like they were graduating guys into that system. And now they do just hire based on like, okay, you can walk on stilts, so you're in.
Yeah, I was in.
The stilt guy is a very important component of their whole system.
Oh fucking god! Okay, sure. Yeah. I came up in the Banana Ball draft. Like
it was so I was in the Savannah Bananas, and then I was actually drafted to the Toronto Blue Jays, and it was weird because I only really know how to walk on stilts. I'm not that good at baseball, and yet I'm their switch hitter, which is crazy. It's a little anti-Blue Jays material from a long-term disappointed Canadian. There we go.
No, they do this year. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
I have a question. Related question. Are people still playing Blaseball? Are people still following that? Is that still a thing?
No, Blaseball kind of died an unfortunate death a couple of years ago. I think the guy who was running it got kind of tired of it. The server costs were exploding. That's one of the many baseball pop culture things that just explodes because there's no money in it unless you're promoting the league itself.
Surely that won't happen again.
No, never. Not to us anyway.
No. This is I predict sunny skies and clear sailing for Banana Ball, especially when the sort of, again, very strange man in charge of it, who again feels evangelical or Mormon, even though we don't know for sure, is like, great, I'm going to go invent a new kind of Banana Ball that's played only in Neom. It's going to be wonderful.
Desert Banana Ball.
Yeah. Speaking of Neom, I knew that any sports episode that we're doing would be remiss. I'd be remiss if I didn't include a Neom sports update.
Of course, yeah. Have they sorted out the holding the football matches on the kind of suspended 500 meters in the air pitch thing?
No.
Okay.
No. They haven't. Right. So Neom FC is now one of the best funded football clubs in the entire world.
Perfect.
Sick. Okay.
Well, they're gonna need that for transfers after anyone who goes for a corner too energetically gets sort of Operation Condor death flighted off the side of the pitch.
Anyone who makes an own goal, they get escorted to a different changing room, and then there's a new guy there the next day. So basically what happened is that Neom FC, there was a really good article in The Athletic about this, which was about the how they made Neom FC, which is it's now based in Tabuk, which is not far away. It used to be like a normal sort of Saudi third string team. So they were struggling to get a dozen people in when it was called its old name Al Sukoor. And I want to read a brief quote from this article. It says, "We're here to cheer," says Faris, a former youth player of Al Sukoor who at 18 had given up on his dream of playing professional football in the Saudi leagues. He felt no loss for his own club and was now all in for Neom SC. He was part of the Neom unit, previously known as the Al Sukoor unit. So Neom Football Club has a firm.
Fantastic. Perfect. I've always thought that it would look great having these kind of vertical walls of glass with a bunch of guys setting off road flares and stuff.
Yeah. They have a group of ultras, the Neom unit.
Well, I didn't realize that something I thought was a very local American phenomenon was a global phenomenon, because I didn't realize that football, soccer had their own Oakland A's, where they're just going to move a team to the desert and maybe build them a stadium at some point.
These guys are going to get there's going to be a kind of firm rivalry between them and New Maraba, entirely linear city. You'll never sing that.
What's the Neom equivalent to the Millwall brick?
Oh,
what can you smuggle into Neom to do violence with?
Well, because also none of it's made of brick, right? So it was just it's going to be a glass thing of some kind.
Oh, you know what it would be? It's that you grab the severed arm of whatever European glasses guy most recently failed to reach his design targets, and then you just hit someone with his hand. So they have a football firm. Very funny that happens.
I will note, this is a passing name alert, that their manager of Neom SC is Brazilian, and his name is Pericles Chamusca. Just enjoy that information for a second.
Just one of the most Brazilian names I have ever heard.
Completely normal football manager, but his name is Pericles.
The only way we could make that more Brazilian is if he was called Pericles.
Funny you should mention. Full name, Pericles Raimundo Oliveira Chamusca.
Yeah, we gotta get Stieglitz in there as well. And maybe a Digivani. Anyway, so he says, "I was a player for Al Sukoor, and then they got bought by Neom. I switched to being a fan. I'm too fat to play anymore, so the best thing I can do is cheer for my team to be better. We made noise that was so loud today it was dangerous, and we will win."
That's really good delivered in your reading stuff affects as well.
Anyway, so what I like though is I'm skipping ahead a little bit because this isn't really a full reading. Don't worry, I'm going to read that in the New Yorker article. Meshari Al-Mutairi, the chairman of Neom SC, was a man of influence. He was not a member of the House of Saud, but he did have one of the most powerful jobs at Neom as the executive director of government affairs and also the captain of the owner of the football team, the manager, of the football team.
Pericles' boss, yeah.
Yeah. It highlighted just how important those in charge viewed as the football club's Neom's future. He said, "This is part of the revolution led by His Royal Highness. We're trying to add DNA to this club by building the structure so it can compete with the other big clubs in the kingdom. But the players and staff, they all say they're not just attracted by money to play in Tabuk, because that's the solution, right? So they don't have the 500 meters off the ground football stadium. They could also do a 500 meters off the ground banana ball stadium, and this stilts guy just goes over. We just TikTok dance off the side. Is that they're just, what they've done is they've just basically set up shop in another city. So Neom SC plays in Tabuk, and they just
which is a completely like normal city.
Yeah, this is a regular place, has the Neom football team. I think what attracted them all to Neom is the project. So the and what they're aiming for, the project, of course, is everything we've talked about whenever we talked about Neom, but it's also, and this is another orb callback, to win the Club World Cup and take it from the Oval Office.
Yeah, of course. You two can get the most microphone by weight trophy in the world.
They say they're basically, we're going to incubate this club in this little city. We're going to steal it Oakland Days style, incubate it in the desert, and then transplant it to the line just in time for the 2034 World Cup. Just in time. They're going to nail it.
It's a just-in-time delivery, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So they're doing trust the process, and the process is like hoping Saudi Arabia develops like non-petro industries.
Yeah. Or hoping that Saudi Arabia gets temporary exemptions from the laws of physics such that it can build its line. So also I love that they're like, oh, we don't know if we're going to get promoted in the Saudi Premier League this year. And it's like, no, them being in the Premier League is pretty important to the Neom project. So I'm pretty sure MBS is going to have security guys.
Are you suggesting that the Saudi royal family exercises an improper influence in football in Saudi Arabia?
No.
Do you mean to suggest to me that the Saudi Pro League is in any way politically compromised?
I think that's preposterous. Nobody tells me where to kick. I told you I'd have some Neom for you, and I did.
Oh, this was delightful. Thank you.
Every time someone has to like take it seriously, like, oh, we're really working hard to get that promotion to the Saudi Premier League this year. Who knows? It's a real nail biter.
Hey, look, I'm making a prediction, right? 2030, Charlton will, they'll sort of do very well in the Champions League. They'll finally get to the Premier League, and then they'll be the first team from England and more importantly from South London to be champions in Saudi Arabia.
I think the thing is, right, because we know English football teams are perfectly willing to sell out to Saudi, but there is one team that is willing to sell out even more than that, right? I have the funniest proposal possible, which is you take MK Dons and you just turn them into the Neom Dons, and then from all the way to Wimbledon to Milton Keynes to the line, you have the most betrayal-fueled football club, and they can all lose against Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, wait, no, you can make Cristiano Ronaldo lose to them because of the thing. Like,
oh my God, yeah, it could be like the San Marino football team finally wins.
Cristiano Ronaldo with like a laser sight on his chest, watching like a fifth guy from Wimbledon, from Milton Keynes get past him.
There's a helicopter hovering over the field, and there's just Cristiano Ronaldo's son just being dangled from it.
We should revisit one of our old business ideas, because many years ago we talked about buying a football team, not like a big football team. We talked about buying like a non-league football team.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was really fucked up that we said that in earshot of the Always Sunny cast, because
okay, no, that would be the funniest thing actually, is if on Saudi Netflix they did a version of Welcome to Wrexham, but it's MBS instead of like Rob McElhenney and Ryan.
Welcome to Neom. Danny DeVito's still like there for some reason. Also, it's about football, and the football team involved is Thamesmead Football Club, who are now like fucking reigning champions of like the Saudi Premier League, and no one knows why it's happened. More importantly, no one knows why they still have the same like horrible concrete stadium.
Yeah, watching Welcome to Neom and being like, this feels really kind of exploitative when you think about it.
More than just the usual amount.
Yeah.
Also, why is the aviator gin still there?
I promised you also that I told everybody, we're going to read that New Yorker article, you know, the one with the outrageous interview that came out on June 2nd and nobody can shut the fuck up about it. I told you we're going to read it, then we're going to do a sports related startup.
Yeah, so I got interviewed by Isaac.
Isaac Chutney,
yeah. Sorry, I missed the landing on that.
His question was, what's my name? Okay.
Square brackets, pronouncing it wrong, Isaac Jotner.
Yeah. So look, everyone's been I've been messaged this article like dozens of times because we've, it's just, you know the New Yorker article that came out on June 2nd, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. It's Tusks Up for the Utah Mammoth about the newest hockey team in Utah and the adventures of two of their players in New York City.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Lauren, this is one I actually have via you. I think it's a perfect athlete brain
100%.
exchange that these guys have.
Yes, this is great. It's not a long article. It's really funny. It's a great way to signal to people that you read the New Yorker. I love reading the New Yorker and telling people about how much I read the New Yorker. It's really quick beat where they sent a couple guys from the new
Canadians.
Utah Hockey Club. Two Canadians, very important because it's Canada funny. It's very like Canadian funny sense of humor. Because the NHL recently changed they are going to be the Utah Mammoth. This is going to be their NHL franchise. So they sent these two guys to the Museum of Natural History in New York to see a mammoth skeleton and to talk to like the mammoth scientists.
I mean, those two guys, if we got Canadian hockey players, it's like, yeah, we're going to go meet with this mammoth in New York City.
Not sure why he lives there. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably really rich because he's really old. So that's how we can afford to live in New York City. Dude, we're gonna be living in New York City after
we're gonna be living like mammoths.
Yo, dude, we're gonna live like fucking mammoths, man. Yeah. It's so Canadian hockey player. It's perfect. I laughed for hours reading this.
This is the owner of the Utah Mammoth's Wikipedia headshot has him wearing a backwards baseball cap.
It's so cool. So basically, this is my favorite exchange from this athlete brain article. So it's these two guys. They go to hang out with the mammoth and like interview the mammoth. They're
Interview with the mammoth.
Yeah, there's Sean Durzi and Alex Kerfoot, both Canadians. First quote from Durzi: "I love the museum. It's so cool." Kerfoot admired a 60-foot skeleton of an apatosaurus, like a brontosaurus. "This thing's huge, eh?" Durzi turned around. "This was walking the earth at one point. You kidding me? You kidding me, bro? This fucking thing?"
I love Canadians.
Yeah.
I love hockey players. These guys are beautiful.
I always say, like, the stereotype of Canadians that most people have should be these guys. This is what we are. How many humans do you think to take down one of these guys? Kerfoot asked. Durzi answers.
Independently reinventing old Twitter jokes?
Durzi answers, "I don't know. I don't want to fight it. I like these guys. But hypothetically, probably just me, I could do it."
And an apatosaurus is better known as a brontosaurus. They weighed 35 tons.
Yeah. Yeah, well, have they ever been cross-checked?
I am going to need you to know that Alexander Kerfoot majored in economics at Harvard.
Well, this was Durzi. This is Durzi.
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah.
Kerfoot responded, "If it was me, I'd say 10,000. An entire legion of guys." That's probably true. I think 10,000 people working together, maybe moving up a tech tree, could probably manage to do like 10,000 of the primitive technology guy.
I mean, at that point, your role is more you're kind of like a sea anchor on the mammoth, right? Like your dead body is weighing the mammoth down.
Yeah, you're overwhelming it in a human wave attack.
You're doing the same thing that those bees do when wasps get in their nests, right? Like it gets too hot inside the ball of 10,000 Canadians for a mammoth to sustain life.
Well, I'm not 100% sure the players are aware that dinosaurs and humans didn't exist at the same time. I think bringing up the concept of like egg-eating mammals is a little over their heads.
Yeah, they don't quite. I mean, look, they're great at hockey, but they don't quite get it. But what when we talk about athlete brain, and what this is such a good example of, how do you understand athlete brain, Lauren?
I think it's very important to understand that every major professional athlete has only ever been good at their sport, and it's because they've only ever thought about their sport from the age of about 6 or 7 onward. Like the level of professionalization that exists in sports now means they just don't have the time or ability to think about other things. And I think hockey, and you see it in baseball too, like third base especially, the less you're thinking, the better you are at the sport. So those are not muscles they're super used to like engaging with on a regular basis.
It's this, you see it in football as over here as well, where it's like anytime they'll always like bring Jack Grealish up to like do an interview where they're like, "Hey, Jack Grealish, what's America?" And he's like, "I have no idea." What are you talking about?
I have been thinking about put ball in net for like...
Yeah, that's very profound actually as an answer.
Yeah. Hey, Jack Grealish, are you aware of what country you're in? He's like, Wales?
And I mean, it's kind of fucked up as well because, like, I'm assuming it's the same as it is for football academies here, where what you do is you just grab a bunch of kids and go, okay, you don't really get an education. You are joining the circus, right? And at the end of that, you have this insanely competitive process to, like, become a professional athlete. And if you don't make that, you just get kicked out on the curb with all I know how to do is kick ball into net and not well enough to, like, make a living off of that.
And if you do make, and if you do make it, you end up on, like, you know, the junior squad on, like, the Saudi, like, the Saudi Saracens or whatever.
You are the guy who has to, like, stand next to Ronaldo while he gets his, like, his kid's life threatened, so that the line dons can score on him. Yeah.
And a huge part of this industry as well, this, like, grabbing guys, putting them through basically, like, the process you go through to become a space marine, but instead of dying if you don't make it, you just, like, have to go be, like, a real estate agent, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, as so much of this, increasingly, so much of the economy around this is centered on gambling, right? Like, that is the biggest moneymaker in sports now, it seems. It's not like licensing, it's not licensed merchandise, it's not TV, like, broadcast rights, it's not ticket sales, it's gambling.
Well, that's why every shirt sponsor in football is the, like, most unethical company you can possibly think of outside of, like, the arms industry.
Yeah.
Which maybe they should get into it. Maybe I want to see, like, BAE Systems sponsor like a non-league team.
I want to see some really niche arms industry players sponsor like Charlton FC. Elbit become
the Charlton J-Dams.
Charlton are not an obscure team. They got to the Champions League this year. They're the best South London team that we've got.
You don't live in South London anymore.
In my heart. Well, yeah, actually, that's true. The best team in Southeast London now.
That's still not true.
That's also Crystal Palace. They're in Southeast London.
No, arguably it's Millwall. But anyway, look, I'm gonna, like, stop my. I don't want to get into trouble like Milo does whenever he talks about football. So
They're the best team
in a certain area of Southeast London.
They're the best team in central Southeast London, south of Crystal Palace.
Yeah, they're the best team in Charlton.
They're the best team of an area that touches the end. We're getting to inside Britain. We're going to pull it up because I have a startup for you all. Okay. It's called Alt Sports Data. Alt Sports Data.
Alternative sports data.
It's
looking at internal data, and it's logging two sports in particular. One is called banana ball, the other is called Quidditch.
I think it's the data that's alternative rather than the sports. So you're logging the players' like haplogroups and like posting history.
My idea was that it's like gambling. It's like sort of like normal sports gambling, but for like relatively obscure sports that no one really pays attention that much attention to.
Doing uncut gems and how he's got like an 18-way parlay on his Quidditch bat.
Yeah. No, it's like all right, New York Giants pitcher Logan Webb, how many books by non-male authors has he read this year?
Trying to see how many members of the Maple Leafs can beat the for $1 name a woman thing.
Connor McDavid, we're gonna see if how long he can be friends with a woman without falling in love with her. The over/under is 6 weeks.
It's getting like increasingly sentimental and profound, and so you're just like looking at this shit, and you're making like, Austin Matthews watch In the Mood for Love, and it's not even clear why you're doing that anymore. But somebody has money on it.
No, you're trying to fix the match. You're doing point shaving for like seeing if these guys, if Mitch Marner can be made into like a generous lover.
I see you two are also on wikipedia.org/Toronto Maple Leafs #players and personnel.
These are the only players that I know because I looked up the New York Giants pitcher, but I do know my Toronto Maple Leafs, unfortunately.
They got a guy called Kalle Jarnkrok.
Yeah.
Pontus Holmberg. Okay, next time I need names for anything, I'm looking up ice hockey players. This is beautiful.
Anyway, no. Lauren, alt sports data, what do you think? What do you think it is?
This kind of thing is rife across baseball now. So I'm familiar with a bunch of versions of this, including a bunch of which are like owned by teams in incredibly scary, compromised ways. So I believe we discussed earlier, their main thing is, what was it? It was F1.
No, not quite. Alt Sports Data is bringing the next wave of consumers to sports betting. By empowering alternative leagues to participate in legal live betting, Alt Sports Data enables their partners to activate, monetize, and retain fans while giving the world greater access to the sports they truly love. So what they do...
But what does that mean?
I'll tell you. They collect odds on sports such as surfing, skateboarding, rallycross, drifting, motocross.
Hussein, you were right.
Yeah, I wasn't that far off.
Yeah, you were pretty much right. Darts, rodeo. Yeah, we got a really, really good clown in there who's going to be a ringer. Nobody knows he went to Goliath, and so only we know. So we got darts, rodeo, arena soccer, all combat sports. Coming soon is, of course, snowboarding and cycling. And so then what happens if you're DraftKings or 32 Red or whatever, you engage Alt Sports Data, and then you can offer, because you have these odds now in this information feed, you can offer your customers betting on fucking anything.
Right. So I can go like the Tour de France, which one of these like incredibly ripped twinks is gonna like fucking die first.
We'll get to like the kind of things you can bet on because it's crazy.
Okay.
Because the other thing is it's all 100% live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the other
thing.
So, but it's funny. You know what their newest sport is? Their newest sport. Alt Sports Data, the leading innovator in sports technology, the most electrifying company in sports technology, today announced a groundbreaking partnership with Phoenix Real-Time Solutions, the leading provider of scaling real-time streaming technology, to provide real-time streaming of the second season 1 Mad Men reference.
Gentlemen, imagine the perfect mixture of athletics, spectacle, and speed. Highlight.
Highlight.
Fuck off. You're telling me I set you up for that joke unintentionally?
Yeah, like 35 minutes ago.
Oh
yes.
My God.
Yeah.
The chess master. I'm looking at you so differently now.
Why do you think I brought up Mad Men in the first couple minutes?
It always comes back to Jai in the end.
He's good.
Yeah. You are all in my fronton. I came to play. And real-life streaming of highlight matches from the World Highlight League to the Hard Rock Cafe Sportsbook. This collaboration marks a significant milestone in bringing the fast-paced, exhilarating sport of highlight to a broader audience of sports enthusiasts and bettors. So yeah, this is the idea, right? Which is, what if sports betting, this thing that is causing, I think, untold social damage in places where it's become popular in the age of being accessible on a smartphone. Like, it's causing untold social damage in the States. It's caused enormous like urban blight here as well in the UK. Like, sports betting is a curse.
Yeah, of course.
To be like, there's not enough of that. There are some long tails of like, you know, soap shoeing or whatever, or, you know, playing the spoons. And we could get people betting on that, which to me seems completely fucking evil.
Yeah, no, there's a direct correlation that's been proven for years between like a state here legalizing sports gambling and like a skyrocketing percentage of like bankruptcy declarations. It's like 1-to-1.
Yeah, and also like, I also think that the fact that sports gambling in the US became widely legalized and also completely destigmatized just like around COVID meant that it turned a generation of young men into degenerate gamblers. And it's pushed by every major institution as well. There's no pushback in the States.
No, of course.
At all.
I mean, if you want to talk about, well, exactly. You want to talk about the Labour Party's links to the gambling industry, which are intense. Like, it's wild. And it's one of the most unambiguously evil things we regularly do.
Yeah. And it's also probably worth noting that like so many of like the AI companies, they are sort of very openly like gambling companies as well, right? And so that's going to be great, just all around. Well, any state that's sort of like wanting to be very open and deferent to AI companies basically are just going to have to deal with a lot of a lot of gambling.
Yeah. Before I go on, I mean, you know, Lauren, as someone whose like main thing is being engaged in sports, can you sort of say a little more about how gambling has just changed people's relationship with one another, with like the concept of having fun?
Oh, for sure. It's changed like the fundamental nature of baseball itself. We've seen that recently in like these huge changes to the league. For the longest time, the biggest black mark in baseball was professional sports betting scandals. It was the Chicago Black Sox and it was Pete Rose. And we saw it like a couple weeks ago with Pete Rose issuing a pardon, of Donald Trump issuing a pardon for Pete Rose, who didn't commit any crimes that he was arrested for. He certainly committed crimes, but like that, they have totally sold out whatever integrity the league once had, to the point where like there is now like the scandals of players getting caught with gambling apps on their phone that they're betting on is like happening more and more. It nearly touched the golden boy of the sport when Shohei Ohtani's like best friend turned out to be defrauding him for millions of dollars so he could sink it all into gambling and buying baseball cards. Like several players have been suspended, now arguably hypocritically, because they've been caught gambling. And I think the most recent one was like an umpire got caught in a gambling scandal. It's like increasingly like threatening the sport itself in a way that like even a couple of years ago would have been like shockingly scandalous. And now everyone's on board because The Athletic runs gambling articles. They put the odds on the screen. It's there's no part of the game that's like not touched by this. And I'm most bothered by it because I am like I appreciate baseball for the stats. I am a huge like Excel nerd when it comes to baseball, and I don't like seeing the pure innocent numbers that I love about the game harnessed for evil, which is what essentially this is. You should just be able to appreciate them for what they are, which is weird, abstruse statistical anomalies, not something that you can be used to make money.
Yeah, we're creating weird, abstruse statistical anomalies for their own sakes.
Exactly.
Right? That's the joy of baseball.
Innocent. Yes.
Yeah, it's numbers are going up and down, and it's related to the thing you're seeing, and the only people making money off of it is the guy selling hot dogs.
Right. The point is that you should be able to like talk down to the woman you're at a game with, not like actually like profit in any way.
No, of course.
So back to Alt Sports Data. It was founded by two guys who used to be executives at GoPro, one of whom was like the chief marketing officer. And they were like, oh shit, we have all these relationships with like professional snowboarders or whatever. Let's bet on this shit. Let's enable people to bet on everything. Let's enable them to gamble.
The really baffling one here is Power Slap. They're giving, which I don't know if you're familiar with Power Slap. It's literally just a slapping contest. What do you gamble on other than I think the bigger guy will get knocked down by the smaller guy? What other bet is possible?
Well, it's a really fun way to, like, even more than like football or boxing, get a bunch of like traumatic brain injuries. Just really get those going.
Yeah. It's, you begin betting on like when they'll sort of start forgetting stuff. You know, I bet, I don't know any power slappers, but I bet, you know, Power Slap Jim. No, the Crazy Hawaiian. That's a power slapper.
How the fuck where did you pull that from?
I'll tell you why. It's that because I look at Saudi sports and what Saudi money is investing in. And the Saudis invested in a power slap match that was going to take place in Riyadh, where one of the guys was called Da Crazy Hawaiian.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's all part of the Trump bribery sort of system. You know, I knew what it was. I remember I talked about it on one of those episodes where it's 30 minutes of me talking like just straight about something with like an expert on it. So that's why you didn't hear about it.
Yeah.
But I still did pull it. And it was from months ago. Anyway, so yeah, you can bet on when Duck Crazy Hawaiian is going to start buying milk when he already has a full fridge full of milk and just drinking the expired milk. So he says there are a lot of leagues out here that are not the NFL, the MLB, or the NBA that quite frankly, I feel have been systematically set up for failure in sports betting because there's no real innovation or thought put into them, said Todd Ballard, Alt Sports Data's chief marketing officer. Alt Sports Data also works with sports such as Formula One, which recently made the company its official sports betting supplier.
Finally. That must have been like some of the biggest concentration of evil in one room outside of like Republican National Convention stuff.
Oh, God, yeah. Especially if they did it in like the Baku Grand Prix, if that's where they clinched it.
God, yeah.
Yeah. As well as the X Games and the World Surf League have made Alt Sports Data their official gambling partner.
Some of the biggest concentration of dumb guys in one room.
Yeah. Someone who's like, I've been doing rollerblade flips since I was 4. I have no other skills. These two GoPro guys came along and gave me $400,000, which is the most money I've ever seen in one place before. And now apparently I have to have a wearable because people are betting on my heart rate.
I'm old enough to remember when extreme sports guys had listened to Goldfinger's Spokesman one time in their life. And therefore, on the basis of that only, distrusted or professed to distrust corporate interests.
So Ballard said, lifestyle sports like this have massive fan bases, but not much representation on sports books. We aren't milking these people. No one's just enjoying surfing.
No, of course.
Yeah. So they say its approach targets bringing these fans into the sports betting ecosystem and sports they care about. You should be ashamed to write that copy. It's like their approach is getting children hooked on cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, with fun cartoon mascots and fun fruit flavors. And that makes them comfortable on betting on sports more broadly.
That's so fucking
It's so evil, but I think it's like there's an interesting point. There's a sort of point that I would say is an evil point to be made, which is just like
twirl your mustache for me while you're making that point.
No, I think their innovation is sort of like to redefine what participation in like sports means, right? And basically linking gambling to participation in the same way that like, you know, e-cigarette companies have like the ways in which they sort of like linked passive time, or the concept of like passive time to like consuming their products, because obviously you couldn't, you know, these were like, you know, e-cigarettes were not things that were supposed to be enjoyed in theory. They were not supposed to be had for leisure. They were supposed to be, you know, the sort of like play was, oh, well, you know, there are ways of like reducing, you know, smoking on cigarettes. But like with this, it sort of feels like, okay, like, you know, and I've heard this from like people at Stake and stuff whenever they get criticized, which is just like, oh, we're just opening new pathways for people to enjoy sports. We're just wanting to like get more people to be sort of involved in sports and to have fun. And there are lots of different ways to do that.
Yeah, what are you cheering for, like Charlton because you like them?
Right. It was, yeah, you and this is it. It's like your participation in sports is either you join a firm and beat people up or you gamble. Those are your two options. And I just feel like with the like it feels like the very obvious play here is to link sort of sports participation with gambling. And the ambition is for them to sort of like be like, oh, you know, you can't just like watch sports. You can't just like, you know, watch it with your mates in like non-existent third spaces or whatever. But what you can do is participate with them on these like very strange, very fast like gambling systems where you can make loads of money by like making very, very weird bets. But if you lose, you can share that with your friends and it can be really, really entertaining. So that's like, I mean, it's incredibly evil, but it's also just like, this feels like the best way to sort of understand what these guys are doing, but also what basically every betting company, like e-betting company, is trying to do.
I think that's totally correct. I think it's also demonstrably true in that you can like clearly see a huge upswing in those now more invested fans sending death threats to players on Instagram all the time.
Yeah, because he's not just like the guy who missed the thing. He's the guy who cost you like $150,000 and is going to get you uncut gems.
I didn't even think about it like that, but like, no, you're right. And like, imagine what that does if you're a young player, or if you're like someone who's just like in a very sort of precarious position in terms of your own employment in sports. And like, you realize, oh, like you haven't just got fans who are like kind of wanting to see, like, who are sort of depending on you, but you also have people who have like remortgaged their houses perhaps to like have, you know, to do that.
Right. And it's one thing if you're like a professional athlete you can water off your back if you're making millions of dollars, hopefully. But like, this is also a huge problem in college sports, where like tons of people who are not getting paid are getting these like people coming out of the woodwork to like scream at them at games about like, oh, you cost me my parlay in the middle of like a women's college basketball game. It happens all the time now.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's going on here. There's I read an interview with their chief data scientist in one of the most evil publications that exists, which is called Sigma, and it's like about it's like by and for the sports betting technology industry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, awesome. So Sigma News spoke with co-founder Michael Jordan and director of data science Tim Wall, different Michael Jordan, still gambling, but different Michael Jordan, to find out just what the company's vision means to the sports betting industry. We believe that the real opportunities with iconic sports like F1 are things happening moment to moment within the race. So whether the 5th position car will overtake the 4th position car on an upcoming turn is way more engaging than who's going to win the race in like 2 hours, it's insane. They're like bet on every moment.
Yeah, it's like microtransactions.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. It's like they're micro bet. No, don't micro bet, macro bet. Just macro bet on everything that happens. So, you know, like our bit at the beginning of just like, does Connor McDavid read female authors is not so far off. So Jordan says, we recognize that sports betting was becoming legal in the U.S. Wow. Well noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Likely thing for a sports betting company to do. And so we wanted to boost the economy of these sports for the players. For the players. We did it for the players.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah. Because, the alternative sports don't have gambling. So the players are underpaid because they don't have gambling. So these athletes put it all on the line for our entertainment, and almost all of them have full-time jobs to support themselves. We want to build up our league partners to the point where athletes earn enough without a second job. Admirable?
Sure.
No, not admirable, of course.
Oh, I was so excited.
Yeah. The vision is second-by-second betting. Bet by the millisecond. We want the fan to be fully immersed, watching the event live and placing bets constantly as the action unfolds. They want to be part of every moment, not just the final score. That's what it is, right? It's like you're buying your way into feeling like Lando Norris for a second.
I have some good numbers into what it looks like in practice. And it goes back to the Shohei Ohtani gambling scandal where his assistant, Ippei Mizuhara, was stealing millions of dollars from him, impersonating him. And this is someone who had essentially had unlimited funds to gamble all they wanted. And between December 2021 and January 2024, both through apps and through illegal bookies, he placed 19,000 bets, or about 25 bets per day. So that's the ceiling on this. That's like the most a human could possibly gamble.
That's and they're like, hey, 25 per day. Let's get that to 25 per lap of Formula One.
Yeah.
What
if we could increase the fucking thing?
Yeah. What if there was more? And what if there was more in more places? I keep reading in this more evil sentences than the previous ones. There's no reason why sports betting can't be as fast and immersive as video games. Oh boy.
Not that the video game industry doesn't have its own gambling problem with loot boxes and stuff.
Right. Video games are trying to be gambling. Gambling's trying to be video games now.
Yeah.
Or just lag issues. Isn't that just a very obvious tech kind of thing? Just like...
Oh, sure. If you're closer to the stadium, you get an advantage.
Yeah, if you're doing micro betting or speed betting or whatever, then
some would call this wire fraud.
All sports data's vision reads like sci-fi minus the dystopia and with a lot more fun wagering.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, they took out the dystopia. Where there was dystopia, they added in fun wagering. They think of a fully AI curated broadcast stream tailored in real time to your preferences, bets, and behaviors. I see it as a holistic stream. Driver cams, dynamic views, personalized narration, all based on what you've bet on historically. Your screen isn't just showing you the game. The commentator's speaking directly to you as you gamble.
And he's telling you so much about Mad Men.
Yeah. As a sports fan, how does this sound to you as a way to consume baseball? Banana ball, because there's no more baseball now.
That's true, but it's all banana ball all the way down. I am of the opinion that most sports should be watched with absolutely nobody talking to me. If I could turn off the announcer on any broadcast, I would. Unfortunately, that technology doesn't exist yet. And I don't like that we're now generating new ways of guys to annoy me when I'm trying to watch a game.
Yeah. And also probably encouraging you to gamble.
I mean, the regular broadcast does that too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But encouraging specifically you. Like, hey, Lauren, you always like to bet on a foul ball sometime around this point of the game. Why not put up your favorite bet? So the AI knows your favorite athletes' fantasy picks and social follows. It cuts the right camera angle, remembers your last wager, and offers frictionless voice-activated bets. That's what I was thinking is the problem with gambling. Too much friction.
Yeah, also, I think it's a really good idea to have an AI that sounds like a human and sounds like it wants to be your friend, tell you just try again, it'll work this time, it'll work again.
Yeah, we've invented the world's most persuasive bartender and he never cuts you off.
I was gonna say we've invented the guy in the pub who keeps telling you even though the slot machine's broken and you never win anything, it's just put in another tenner, you'll win it.
You can put in a coin, you gotta spin it, and then that actually makes you more likely to win. So they give an example. There's a key turn coming up, Kate. Want to put $5 on Albon overtaking Antonelli? I don't agree that would happen that much because Alex Albon's not that great. But how much would I win? You could win $11. Okay, place bet. Great. Let's see what happens. There we go. That's what if instead of having to look at an amount, type it in, hit a button, are you sure? Yes. They were like, no, that causes people to pause too much. We need them doing bigger and dumber easily.
They're now at this point positing that AI shouldn't be the computer from Star Trek. It should be if the computer from Star Trek was trying to rob you.
The computer from Star Trek, if they were trying to like trap you in debt, basically. Think video game speed, Netflix personalization, and odds for every moment. It's fast, it's immersive, at times it's a little absurd, but more importantly, it is possible. No, it's not. It's not possible. It's absolutely not possible what they're saying that they're going to do. So that's how we're all going to lose everything by trying to impress the AI with our high-lie bets.
Perfect.
I'm excited. Now, Lauren, I asked you to curate some wacky baseball players for us, and I would be very pleased if you could share them.
Certainly. I've got a couple here that I think are okay. Unfortunately, baseball is not really in an era of great villains because there are obviously a lot of like Trump supporters and conservatives, but they're all like the whiny kind of conservative that doesn't want to own their opinions. So like anytime they do something that's like obviously a Trump thing, they'll like reel it back and try to pretend it's not. First example I had of this was Alec Burleson and a couple guys in the St. Louis Cardinals who shortly after Trump got shot started putting one hand on their ear and one hand up in the fist in the air, like the fight thing. Like they did a double and they'd all do it in the dugout. And their excuse for why they weren't doing the Trump thing was that one of the players was a college rapper named Biscuit. And it was a reference to a DJ listening to his headphones.
So they were trying to do like a Trump Jesse Owens thing. Basically.
Jesus.
I like that one of the players was a college rapper called Biscuit. It's an athlete who has one more thing about him.
Compelling.
That's a very baseball coded like big DH lump of a guy thing to do. Yeah.
So I do enjoy nobody's allowed to get mad at me. My job is hit ball. I'm going to be a big Trump guy, but if you ever get mad at me, then I'm going to get so depressed I shave off my mullet. Basically.
It's all that up and down. Yeah, we saw it with Manny Machado when he was wearing a Let's Go Brandon shirt at spring training. He's another one who's like a famous red ass throughout the sport, and he's like the king of plausible deniability. He will like slide into guys running from first to second and then like pretend like it was an accident. He'll like stomp on players like legs and kick them in the heels and stuff running through the base. And every single time he just pretends he's just like hustling. He's the total.
He's a baseball version of what we in hockey call a goon.
Very much so. Well, I think goon is a more honorable profession than being Manny Machado. Like there's a history there. Like this is how baseball was played 30 years ago. The rest of the sport has moved on, and he is just out there breaking ankles for the love of the game.
It's like, look, it's all too woke now. Everyone's trying to protect their ankles. I'm going to play baseball like they used to back in the good old days of the 1990s when you were allowed to take steroids and you could really roid rage out on someone else's like metatarsal.
Right. And when guys like him would like get racistly called out for lack of hustle every single day. Yeah. Fascinating guy. Also probably a borderline Hall of Famer, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, there must be so many borderline Hall of Fame baseball players who are just like utterly reprehensible people.
Oh, yeah. It's been a repeated scandal in the last couple of years where they keep taking their like candidacies right in before they get elected into the hall. Another funny one, because we're LGBT hosts on a baseball podcast, we keep really close watch on like Pride Night stuff. And one of my favorite scandals of the last couple of years was when 5 players on the Tampa Bay Rays peeled the Pride Night logo off of their hat. And again, it was that thing where like they didn't want to own what they were doing. They were like, we disagree with the lifestyle, but we still want the stadium to be for everyone. They couldn't just say, no, we don't think they should be here.
Yeah, they had to be like, no, the sticker was slightly weighing down my helmet and I was not going to be able to respond to curveballs.
Exactly. Taylor Walls is also in the Rays and he's part of that. He's like a fun one because he's invented a new way to insult umpires recently that I really enjoy. This came up at a game the other day where, again, he denied doing this, but it was like a borderline bad call the umpire got wrong. It was like slightly outside the strike zone, so he called it a strike. So Taylor Walls discovered he can really get piss off the umpire and get thrown in the game just by tapping his hand on the top of his helmet.
What is it with umpires? Why are they so sensitive?
Well, you can just aggro them like a Skyrim NPC.
Pretty much. And like this one's funny because the context is that they're working on an automated strike zone system with a computer, and the way you challenge in that system that you want a call revealed is you tap the helmet. So he's really like, it's a pretty firm fuck you to the umpire saying like, I think your job should be replaced.
Yeah. Okay. So that's more of like a learn to code thing to the umpire.
Yeah.
Learn to become code.
Yeah. Get ready to go like get a real job. Yeah.
Yeah. You should go get a real estate license with all the other guys who couldn't make it up to this level, basically.
Yes.
Getting kicked out of umpire school is brutal.
Yeah. They had those 2 umpires go visit the Mammoth in New York City, and they were like, you're fucking out of here.
This is another thing where we joke, but like it actually is like incredibly competitive to be a professional level umpire. They do go to umpire school. It is like hyper competitive. There's like one woman who's gone through the program and suffered horrific abuse the whole way. It's like all the same thing for sports, but the umpires get to do it too.
I would love to see the umpire school's baseball team. Like, what meticulous rule following? I would say, who else you got?
I think this goes back a couple years, and this is more like a funny one. It goes back to COVID. There was a window of time in the 2022 season where Canada had a requirement that you need to be vaccinated across the border. And baseball is obviously played in Canada, in Toronto. So
famously.
So there was this window of time where we actually got to see into the inner brains of players in a way that's they're usually closed off from. And we got to see the sheer number of player meatheads who refused to get vaccinated and so had to be left at home on the road trip to Toronto. And we kept really close. We actually, at the time of the podcast, did like statistical analysis of what the team was leaving behind. My personal favorite.
You could have gotten advantages in betting markets. I mean, which of these red asses is not going to go across the border?
People did. The Kansas City Royals left 10 players at home for a game series. They basically fielded a AAA team in Toronto because there are too many guys on that team who were just like suckers. My favorite was the Red Sox leaving Cutter Crawford and Tanner Houck home twice on 2 different series because they're in the same division. They play more often. And like Cutter Crawford was a starting pitcher that year. He probably cost them several like winning games in a very competitive league.
It was like if you wanted to do point shaving in like 2021, all you'd have to do is open up Facebook in front of any one of these players, and then they would like refuse further vaccinations.
Back for a long time now, I think actually like the real like success the trick you could find in baseball gambling isn't to follow the players, it's to follow their wives on Instagram because they're the ones who I think get them into the conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think they're the ones in like the alternate health yoga websites because these guys don't think about any of this stuff. They're getting it, I think, from the wags. Yeah.
Yeah, they hit ball with stick and then ball go. And I don't get jabbed. No, I do crystal.
like being married to a dog.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about time for us today. But Lauren, I want to thank you so much for coming on this little bit of a behind the scenes look here, frequently rescheduled due to personal conflicts with my schedule episode of the podcast. It's been a delight to have you.
Keep refusing to get vaccinated.
Yeah, they won't let me go to Canada, where of course I record. Every Monday and Thursday, I fly to Canada.
But little do any of you know that I've actually been making secret bets on when this episode was going to take place. And I may have got a very healthy £10.50.
Yeah. You kept on booking me those appointments all across town when we otherwise had to be recording.
It was a very long, complicated process, but was it worth it? Yes, it was.
Absolutely. So, where can people find Batting Around if they want to hear more about baseball statistics?
Yeah, sure. We're Batting Around, I think, is the handle on Blue Sky, or it's batting_around on most other social platforms. We talk about baseball maybe 60% of the time. So I wouldn't recommend it to people who don't like baseball at all. But yeah, we're pretty niche.
Yeah. So if you like baseball 60%, then do we have the podcast for you? Anyway, but Lauren, it's been a real delight. It's been a long time coming. Thank you very much for coming on. And to you, the listener, a few things. I'm going to try to remember all of them. TF Live Show is on the 21st of June. We're going to be doing that. We're going to actually be doing the Curtis Yarvin article, Curtis Yarvin long read. We're going to be talking all about Yarvin.
We will all be weeping openly on stage all the time about stuff we made up in our heads.
Yeah.
It's going to be cool.
We're all going to be awkwardly wearing leather jackets as though we're trying to look like a cigarette advertisement, but failing.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be a good time.
Because you said that, I might not.
Oh, no, I'm going to.
No, that was going to be my thing, like unintentionally anyway. I'm catching strays meant for Curtis Yarvin.
It's rife. Anyway, we have that happening. There's also Lions Led by Donkeys and Glue Factory. Either side of that, it's some kind of a podcast festival thing. I haven't really paid too much attention, but there is that. You can go to all of them variously. Doesn't matter. Come see us and the rest. Otherwise, there's an Edinburgh show on July 31st. That one is selling really quickly, so do get involved if you are going to be in Edinburgh on July 31st.
Or even if you're not. Buy a ticket.
Well, no, we want people in the room, so it sounds full.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
buy a
that is
ticket and
true.
don't show
Okay,
up.
fine. I guess so.
Yeah, buy a ticket and transfer it to someone else. But make sure they listen to the show, because it's awkward if we're doing a live show in front of people who don't listen to the show. Just come. You know what? If you buy a ticket, just come. It's way easier that way. All right. I think that's all the end matter. So we will see you on the free episode in a few short days.
New Left on Red is coming. We're recording that tomorrow.
Yes, it's happening. M Son of the Century. I'm walking around just saying Italian names, like Filippo
Giacomo
Tirati.
Matteotti.
Oh, what a tragic figure, who we'll talk about tomorrow. Anyway, that's all the end matter. Left on Red's now coming back. There was a whole bunch of stuff that made it not happen for a few months, but it is back. It is back with a vengeance in a big way. We are leaving things on red. Okay, we will see you on Monday for the free episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye.